NFL season is here, and the Lockdown Defense Sports Network welcomes you to another NFL season. We are here to give you a front row seat to the pulse of the NFL. Join us every Tuesday night as we break down the latest news, dissect the hottest headlines, and fire off fearless predictions that might shape the future of the league. From the locker room drama to game-changing plays, we're just not watching football, we're living it. As the entire hit squad with young RG Robert Garcia, Coach Mike Dubb, the real AG Alex Givens, and yours truly, Coach Defense, joins forces with the NFL Nation Live crew, Ref Guru, Violator, and the Saudi pirate himself, Captain Jack Rackham. So buckle up, because this isn't your average recap. This is the Lockdown Blitz, where the takes are bold, the insights are gritty, and the passion runs deep. Let's go. To all my heavy hitters and lockdown defenders, welcome to the Lockdown Blitz. I'm your host, Coach Defense. Alongside with me today, the hit squad, young RG Robert Garcia, Coach Mike Dubb, the real AG Alex Givens, and the NFL Nation Live crew, the Violator, the man himself, and the salted pirate himself as well, Captain Jack Rackham. Gentlemen, what's happening? What's going on? Indeed.
Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I need to make an announcement to all people here. If there is any heard flatulence or burps, it's not intentional. It's because I've eaten so much tonight. I resemble the Monty Python skit where the guy was, bring me a bucket, I gotta throw up. That's me. So okay. I want to get it out there because Veterans Day is a wonderful thing, and veterans thank you who remember us. But for us veterans, it also means that we get to do what I call the circuit, which is to figure out how many free food restaurants and donuts and coffees you can shove in your face in probably about a 16-hour period. Yeah. And I tapped out about an hour and a half ago. I can't eat anymore. So I wanted to make the announcement. Thank you for all that recognize the veterans, but any undue farts or burps, I cannot be held responsible for that.
Indeed. Well, that goes into my beginning statement. I wanted to shout out all the veterans, all the military people that are watching the podcast and hearing our voices today on Veterans Day. Salute to your service. We appreciate your service. We appreciate everything you've done and continue to do for this country, including our illustrious Cap Jack Rack, who is a retired veteran himself. So as always, man, we'd like to give you appreciation and shout out to all the veterans that have served and will serve the military going forward, man. Quick applause going.
I just gave you a best comedic segue there, shipmate. I was looking out for you, man.
I appreciate you. As always, man, as always. But yes, indeed, we are here, the NFL Nation Live crew, alongside with the Hit Squad. We are back for the Lockdown Blitz each and every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. Gentlemen, it is getting to week 11. Week 10 is in the books. We are here. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty. You know, the bye weeks are coming to a close. We're getting into that last final push. It's getting cold outside for most people, you know, unless you live in those warm places like Cali and Florida. So, you know, if you are
40s tonight.
In 40. Really?
In Florida. Yes. Don't I want to hear no that Florida.
That's the California. Summer, man. Come on.
I get that it's, you know, it's like
that's golfing weather.
For you, that's nothing. But for us Floridians, where, you know, our blood is so thin that we get an air leak, if no blood pops out because our blood's so thin. It's cold out there. I was wearing double sweats today, going around to all the restaurants. Trust me on that.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you live today since Veterans Day. I'll let you live. But yes, indeed, it is cold outside for most people, and we're getting into real big-time football weather. So, yes, gentlemen, let's go around the room and see how everybody's feeling today. Young RG, Robert Garcia, how you feeling, good brother? What's going on out there?
Feeling good, coming off a nice dub. And like we mentioned, already talked about, just want to give another shout out to all the veterans, specifically my brother and both my godparents. My brother served in the Marines. Both my godparents served in the Navy. So I just want to also give a quick shout out to them. And of course, anybody in the chat, we appreciate your sacrifice. We thank you. And we're excited to talk some ball with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coach Mike Dub, what's going on, good brother? How you feeling out there?
Feeling good. Happy to be here once again, echoing everybody's sentiment. Shout out to all the veterans out there. Hope everybody had a safe and enjoyable Veterans Day. And yeah, we're happy to be here for week, 11?
Well, week 11 now. Yep, week 11 of the show. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yep. Violator, good sir. The man, the myth, the legend. How you doing over there?
Doing well, and I want to make that the third echo. Salute to all of the veterans and those who have served. Hope you guys had a great day. And listen, like you say, this season is slowly slipping out of here. Now, we're still talking about it week to week, but some people are planning vacation time already. So let's go.
I like that. You're right. Some people are definitely making Cancun plans already. Oh, yeah. Trying to get to those warm places while it's cold. I understand.
Oh, yeah.
I understand. Well, we got a preview of how Captain Jack Rackham's feeling. He is a little bit of an indigestion issue over there, but outside of Veterans Day, how are you doing, good sir? What's going on over there?
Hey, I'm good, and again, thanks to all. I will say that unfortunately, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but because of the airlines, I had a flight that was canceled to Green Bay on Thursday because I was supposed to be in Green Bay for last night's game.
Yes, you were.
I will say that I am allegedly here. Let me do if you guys can see the double cross fingers. I'm supposed to be getting all of my money back, which I do hope. And the fact is that I was a lot warmer, even though it was 40 degrees last night here and today here. It wasn't friggin', and I caught myself, Coach. I did catch myself on the FRID. Mm-hmm. It was friggin' cold in Green. You couldn't see it from the show. It was like 19 degrees, folks. I have that on good measure. It was at least 19 degrees.
I believe it. Yeah, they were layered up out there.
In a rough game. That would have been a rough game to stand through. Not gonna lie. I didn't get to watch it, but
right. You didn't miss much.
From the score updates, I felt like I did. Right,
you didn't miss much at all. It was definitely watching paint dry. It was like that. Watching paint dry for sure. It was definitely a snooze fest. Definitely a snooze fest. But yeah, speaking of Real AG, Alex Gibbs, how you doing there, good brother? Outside of Disney blackout, how you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'll go ahead and make it the fourth echo to the veterans out there in my family and on the show and watching the show. Like, cannot repay you for your sacrifices. So always shout you guys out when we can. Other than that, man, I'm doing good. Getting a little nervous, I guess, as a Chiefs fan with the rest of the division, rest of the AFC, top of the food chain, people keep winning. It's starting to get crunch time in the kingdom. So
it definitely is. Definitely getting tight at the top. Pause if needed. So yeah. So how apropos to get right into it, man. So we're gonna talk about what's going on in the NFL this week. We are missing ref this week. He is here in spirit. He's definitely with us in spirit, so he'll likely be back next week. So we'll look forward to that. But let's get into some headlines.
Hit Squad headlines.
All right. So the hot button news, it's actually some couple of things came out today, but the first thing, most I guess it's an unprecedented thing that we didn't think was going to happen that happened yesterday was none other than Brian Daboll getting fired. So
didn't somebody get a question on that last week on Brian Daboll? I can't remember. I think somebody got a question on that. Wrong.
How about that? Yeah, it might have. I have to go back and look at my records. See, in that "Do You Believe" segment, did you get a question on that? Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, I believe I was wrong.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But I think that we all kind of got caught by surprise. I didn't think that he was going to get let go in that fashion, boy. It's a cruel world out here. It's a cold world out here. That's for sure. That's for sure. Matter of fact, let me check my records. Let me check my Palm Pilot real quick, see what I got here. Yeah, he did. No matter what, does Brian Daboll get fired in 2025? And yeah, that was the question. That was the question.
I haven't heard Palm Pilot in a long time. I almost forgot what that was.
Kind of spotting himself there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Robert, are you familiar with the pilot of the Palm?
You guys got me. I'm lost here, man.
I got one. I'll show you. I still got the original one. It's the one that's in black and white.
Just open your notes app in your iPhone. There you go.
Right.
But you don't have the cool pin.
It was the pre-Crackberry. It was the pre-Crackberry.
It was that. It definitely was that. Yeah. So, but yeah, Cap, you're absolutely right. You did get that question last week, and right apropos, less than a week later, he gets canned. So, so let's talk about where did they go from here. I would argue that I feel like Joe Shane should have went with him, but I mean, I don't know what the Mara family is doing on top of that. I mean, it's just a long litany of embarrassment, and we thought, most of the panel thought that him drafting Jackson Dart might have saved his bacon, but it's just a lot that going on. And the more I thought about it, between the concussion issues with Jackson Dart, him trying to circumvent the independent specialist, and him blowing leads, and just his overall record being 13-38 since his 8-2 start of his first year, 7-2 start of the first year. It was brutal. It was brutal. But now Mike Kafka is the interim coach over there, so we don't know exactly how that's going to roll. I mean, he's a former NFL player, rising coach, so we'll see. But let's start with young RG, man. How do you feel about this situation, and do you think it was justified? How do you feel about it? What's your first reactions to the firing?
Yeah, initially it was, a bit of shock. I think all of us kind of initially reacted that way, just kind of given the sort of just immediateness of it. I don't think any of us, there were really no rumblings about Daboll getting fired or anything like that. No rumblings about him, not having a job security there or anything like that. So it really did just kind of come out of nowhere. But when you take a step back and you really look at the big picture, 4 fourth quarter double-digit point leads blown this year, including that 33-point nightmare given up to the Broncos.
Mm.
Cam Scadaboo's done for the year. Malik Neighbors is done for the year. Jackson Dart has been in concussion protocol 4 times this year. So, and then I think, coupled with that, you obviously see the optics of, Daboll over in the medical tent trying to rush the procedure to get him back out there. I think we all knew it, coming into this year, the seat was a bit warm. But I think once we saw Jackson Dart play a little bit, we thought they'd be good. Man, I guess not. Mara family was not happy with the performance on the field, and I guess they're going to be looking for new leadership come the offseason.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree there. Mike Dove, you're the NFC East, man on the ground for us. So please tell us. What are you seeing from your point of view and your expertise from the NFC East?
Yeah, I mean, like RG said, I think that they just had enough. It feels like front office didn't feel like there was a path forward with Daboll. Dealing with the injuries and dealing with, this is a young team, and clearly they're not in the market to win anything this year. So they're all about thinking about the future. And for whatever reason, they feel like Daboll is not the guy that's going to be able to rally the horses and get guys, back on board for the future going forward for this franchise. So, thinking ahead, I think we will see Daboll again in this league in some capacity. Might be as another coach, it may be as a coordinator. He's, clearly shown to have success. I think the guys do respond to him well. I think they do play for him. New York is a tough market, so it's not easy for people to be in that situation. And of course, he wasn't dealt with the best hand to start out with, but there were things that I think that he'll probably learn from. I'm not so convinced to say that he was a complete failure or that he will be a complete failure. Who knows? He may find success in another place. I personally like Daboll and think that he probably will land on his feet pretty well. But as far as going forward, I think that this is definitely, a prime job for any young coach coming in. There are a lot of names that we've heard circled around. I've heard, former Raider coach Antonio Pierce's name get thrown in the mix. He's a former Giant. I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but I saw that name. There are a few other names that get thrown in the mix, but whoever's next in line, I think that's a great job. Just dealing with the roster and what they have going forward. So we'll see what they get going in the front office, but I definitely think that this is the last time that we'll see Daboll. He'll get another shot, and probably as a coordinator, and then eventually, get his another chance as a head coach as well. So, sorry to him, and sorry he had to end that way, but hey, we don't have to worry about him.
True indeed. Violator, good sir, how you feel about this firing? What's your reaction, and what do you think is the path forward for the Giants?
Well, to me, it was a shock because, like I say, the previous show, he was the subject of topic. And I think I remember saying that, with bringing in Jackson Dart, that would give him a little leeway. But to the contrary, and I was hearing some stuff today coming through the wire that the fan base had already been voicing their opinion since the beginning of the season on Daboll. And I guess, with injured players, which is unfortunate, but it's part of the game, but putting their quarterback in harm's way with these design quarterback runs, the fans were like, look, you're getting ready to injure our insurance. And look, he's had, about four concussion protocols, 4 or 5?
Yep, 4.
Already this season. So that means a short career. And so the fan base is, in this day of the internet, I guess the front office was inundated with comments as to Coach Daboll's future there. And, they always say when we start listening to the fan base, we're really in trouble. So let's see how this irons out with the Giants going forward. But like I said, wish Coach Daboll the best, and he probably will pop up real soon as a coordinator somewhere. There's a dire need for, versatility in these offensive play callers, and we'll get into that deeper into the show. But he's going to be a hot commodity.
Okay. Fair enough. Captain Jack, how you feel about this firing? Although you had a nice, lovely take that the age like milk for last week. But tell me how you feel about this firing.
Let's put it this way. Obviously, the Giants blew more games than hookers outside of Allegiant. So, that's the reason why.
Damn.
I just thought of it, and I said, this one works, and it does work. But the point is that, and you're right. Daboll is going to come back as an OC. Remember, he was the guy that made Josh Allen click, run, and gun up in Buffalo, and that's where he got his job from. So he's going to be a guy that is going to be highly sought after. I think that somebody's going to use him as an OC because of that. His skills as an OC is near second to none. I say near second to none, and he's going to get another job because of it. And I already saw Willie Wayne says these rumors that Daboll's already come in Vegas for OC.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to hear those rumors because, again, it's all conjecture. And who said something about AP being tagged for?
Yeah, he has been. Yeah, he's one of the top candidates.
I tell you what, Dub, if you want to have a run at the NFC East, make sure AP gets the job in New York. Okay?
That bad? Yeah, he's that bad.
I mean, and again, this is love. Antonio Pierce, to me, is one of the best motivating cheerleaders where people will get behind him. That I will give him. He is a great coach in that respect.
He wants to touch players.
Well, I ain't
That's
even touching that one.
That's a quote.
I know it is.
Yeah, we just got rid of one guy for that, so let's.
You did.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get some money back on that contract as well.
Hopefully.
But going back to the point, AP is, and he's a true Raider in that respect. He is also a true Giant. So unless he has a strong offensive coordinator and a strong defensive coordinator, he ain't going to do diddly poo, in the words of Jim Mora, to help the Giants out. He's a face, he's a name brand, but unless you got some coordinators that can help him out, unless anybody else says otherwise, AP sucks as a head coach. And again, I love him as a motivator, but that's all. He's the biggest, greatest cheerleader that the Raiders have had in a long time. Love him for that. But yeah, anybody else wants him? Yeah. If, like I said, Dub, if you want to run away with the NFC East, whether you're the Washington or the Dallas or Philadelphia, install AP as your head coach immediately. You won't have to worry about it. He'll be 0-6 against the NFC East in those games.
Yikes.
Damn.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Unless you play Kansas City at home or away on Christmas. That's probably your only saving bet.
That's all you got. So you only saving grace.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. All right, the real AG. What do you think about this Daboll firing? What do you think the pathway forward is for the Giants and Brian Daboll for that matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think the firing itself is a little surprising, but not a total shocker. I mean, I think the writing was on the wall. We all shared the sentiments that by them bringing him back, letting him trade back into the first round, get Dart, and it kind of looked like it was working, that he bought himself more time. But I think it was just really the perfect storm brewing, and the way they lost that game to the Bears was sort of the final straw for the owner. And he's like, all right, I'm done paying this guy. I agree that it's a little alarming that they kept Joe Shen on top of that, because he's kind of been paired with Daboll. They've both been paired to the same mistakes that were made, paying Daniel Jones, not retaining Saquon, whatever. And it's, I guess, weird to see that they're keeping him, but he must have he's either got some blackmail on the owner, or they're giving him all the praise for the draft picks they've made. Because I do think they've drafted well these past couple of years. It's just, unfortunately, injuries have piled on, which you can't really put on the coach. But when all that compounds with the manner in which they're losing, and it looks like maybe even more injuries on their horizon, like somebody's got to take the fall, and that's Daboll here. So, it is what it is. Like I think Dub said, sucks for Daboll, but I mean, he is a great play caller, and some guys are just great play callers and not great head coaches. And that's, totally fine in the NFL. So I do see him being a coordinator, if not getting another shot at a head coach with some team that's got maybe a young, promising or developing QB and wants to give him another bite at the apple. But I think my hot take was Joe Brady's going to get a job. Daboll's going to go back to Buffalo and get another head coaching job in 3 years, when the cycle comes back and people forgot what he did in New York. But, and to whoever they're looking for, I will say, I mean, New York is generally, just a difficult place to be successful. Since Coughlin left, I don't think anyone's been good for the Giants head coaching wise. Same with the Jets. I mean, they're longer than that, but it's just for whatever reason, it's just difficult to be successful. It's right. And I'll say with Kafka too, I think it's interesting to see him be the head coach, because that's a guy that they've blocked from being interviewed by other teams. So someone that they've, used the powers that they have to keep him in the building. So, maybe this is the tryout for him. And if things look good, or they win a close game here and there without totally falling flat on their face, it might be his job to lose.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing about interim coaches. If they do pretty well, the fan base gets behind it and want them hired. And, some owners, take the bait and some don't. But I guess it just depends.
Beware of that.
Yeah,
that is true.
Beware of that.
Yes, in case of point. Case of point
about brought up debate.
Yeah, right.
Too long ago.
Indeed. So that's a tricky situation. I guess it really just depends on how they feel about the current coaches in this new cycle. If they really are hot on another guy that they really want to go after and hire as their new successor and who's going to work with Jackson Dart. And I would argue it needs to be, although they had one already, needs to be another offensive guy, to get Jackson Dart on the right track. With Scatterbull coming back and Neighbors coming back and things of that nature, you got a good team. I think they need to fortify the right side of their own line. But outside of that, I think they're in good company, especially with a rookie deal. Yeah, you got Dart on a rookie deal for the next 4 years. So, hey, man, roll the dice, spend the money, and and build around him and see if you can make a winner. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because to y'all point, Jets or Giants, it's hard to fill those shoes and hard to be successful in New York because it's such a busy and very hard-nosed market. I'm going to call it
Yeah.
hard-nosed market. So it's not
Possible.
not for the faint of, yeah, I know, but the Jets for sure. But it's not for the faint of heart, is the bottom line. So we'll see how things go. But I got a little bit of a hot take. They're talking about not even Joe Brady moving on, but they're saying if McDermott don't get it done this year, he might be out. And Josh Allen's going to pound the table for Daboll to be hired to come back for him and get him over the hump. So that's something to watch.
Yeah,
that's something to watch as well. So yeah, they was even saying that he might bring him back as an advisor or advisory role to kind of help with the offense because they can't seem to get out their own way right now. But I don't know if they will do it or not. But if I'm Josh Allen, I'm picking up the phone. I'm telling hey, bring him in. Do what we got to do. Do what we got to do.
I kind of think McDermott is feeling the heat also, him being a defensive background guy, and the defense really is their Achilles heel right now. You've got Cook getting his yards and being consistent. They've got a decent receiver room, and the quarterback's doing his every day. But that defense is collapsing in the third and fourth quarter of games, and that's why I think McDermott is really on the hot seat. You can kind of see his demeanor on the sidelines of late of that stress that he's thinking about, hey, I might be out of here if I can't turn this around.
Yeah, I would argue if you don't go deep into the playoffs or get to the Super Bowl finally, again, and then having that crisis on defense and offense for my money, because having a good receiving room is being generous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Coleman hadn't really panned out. Khalil Shakir is a slot guy that can't seem to get him the ball at all. Now Dalton Kincaid, who's their best receiver as a tight end, is hurt at this moment. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they fare because I think they got a tough opponent this week. So it's going to be.
And they've lost 2 division games already.
I know the Patriots don't seem like they're looking back.
They lost to the Dolphins. Right, and the Falcons.
It's just 2 mysterious losses that you can't explain.
We don't know anything about this year. We're still 10 weeks in, and we know absolutely nothing.
We don't know anything. That is the mantra of 2025. We don't know anything. That is for sure. But we'll see how things go, man. We'll keep monitoring the situation as time goes on. But let's stay back. Let's fold over to the AFC, and talk about the Ravens and Bears. Apropos to RG and I's commentary on Electric Shock Pod earlier today about the Steelers getting throttled by the Chargers on Sunday night. The AFC North is looking real attainable today as it was when it wasn't 3 or 4 weeks ago. So starting with the Ravens, they start off 1-5, and now they're catching fire. I think they won 3 in a row. They're looking like, they're starting to piece things together, move some things around, got some personnel changes, much like they did last year, and things are starting to click on defense as well as offense, got Lamar back. So, how do y'all feel today about the resurgence of the Ravens, and do you believe that they can ultimately, make a run at this thing, either at a wild card or maybe win a division? Going versus order. Let's start with AG. Let's start with you.
Yeah, no, I 100% believe that the Ravens can make a really, really big push for the AFC North title. Honestly, I think the AFC North might shape up to be the most exciting division to watch in terms of the race of who's going to win it. Because you also have the Bengals that if they could just win 2 of their next 3 games, you're looking at bringing Joe Burrow back, and they're right in the fold too. So it's a crazy division. Ravens are definitely getting hot right now. They're playing defense actually, which has been surprising based on the first half of the year and getting Lamar back. So I don't know how you don't have faith in them, especially with just how inconsistent the Pittsburgh Steelers have looked. And I think, the Chargers kind of showed a lot of those issues and what to do to force them. and I think teams are going to start, Pittsburgh's going to have a tough time to kind of build off of their early season success.
Yeah, that's a good point. Somebody made a point on a show I was watching, I think it was yesterday, that the Steelers have the run hot and then at the early part of the season, then they start to cool off in the middle part, and they just take a downturn throughout the regular season, and then ultimately they just fizzle out at their playoff berth and ultimately end up one and done. So yeah, that could very well be the case. Aaron is not a spring chicken, and he's starting to look like his age now, coming into the back half of the season. So that's a great point. That's definitely a great point. Cap
Yeah.
Jack, how do you feel about the Ravens and their resurgence?
Well, I mean, before we even go to the Ravens, let's talk about how soft the Steelers are. And you saw that. And people were saying how you know, and Pittsburgh fans, God, I hate Pittsburgh fans. Well, I kind of hate a lot of fans, but Pittsburgh fans, when you hear that damn, you know, Stairway to Seven song, you know, and how they're gonna, you know, gold and what are they freaking called, like gold and black and whatever
black
and yellow.
It's horrible. I don't want to hear any of that again. They
You know
were
what,
the
I
They
think
were
I think I'm on to something with you. Anybody that refers themselves as the nation, you have a disdain for them. They call themselves
True.
still the nation.
True. Why is that, Coach? Why is that I have disdain for anybody that calls themselves the nation? Well, enlighten the
There's
panel.
only one.
Because there's only one
Well, I
nation.
don't want to
Under
say
God.
I don't want to say
Indivisible.
you tell us why it is.
No, you said that. Somebody said it. I think it was.
He said it.
I think it was that Kansas City guy. Thank you there. It was the lawyer because he knows better. But the thing is, it's like, here it is. They were the softest strong team in their division. Okay, my God, and Aaron Rodgers looks like, can I say dog shit on this program? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're past 15 minutes. I think you're good.
Yeah, we're past the threshold.
Okay,
Let it rip.
and that's being nice. That's being nice, man. Right?
Uh-oh.
Crap.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
And by the way, I want to thank the Marine from Texas. This gentleman I had dinner with tonight, and I said, hey, come out to my channel, and it's like I'm going to be on with Coach Defense and all the boys. So I appreciate Mr. Steven, the Marine from Texas, for viewing and joining in. And he even said he's going to join my show when I talk about his Cowboys. And I have yet to have a Cowboys fan come on that show. So, Steven, thank you for being here, sir. And great guy, U.S. Marines, tried and true. First sergeant. I want to make sure, it was first sergeant. I want to make sure I didn't screw that one up. But yeah, great guy. And that's one thing I liked about when you go out and meet on God, I know I'm supposed to be talking about something else. So I apologize for the segue. But when you go out on Veterans Day and you are out with all your federal veterans stuffing your gourd until you can't eat anymore, and you're cramped in all these restaurants because there's only so much space, you get a chance to sit down with your shipmates, no matter what service they were in, and enjoy the dinner again. So again, Stephen and your wife Jazz and your kids, thank you for popping in. Now we were talking about the Ravens.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get back to it. I swear I'll get back to it. Right. The Ravens are, you know, like I said, if you keep Lamar upright and you have that team that can be, and they are the team that can be, like I said, that and the lawyer even the lawyer even said it when the people start getting their stuff together, when the Ravens get their stuff together, when the Bengals get their stuff together, it's entertaining. I mean, there's no better entertaining sight than to see who's going to win the division. The only one we know will not win the division is the Browns, because they've been on the clock since September. So, okay, don't worry about them, right? Don't worry about them. And the Browns might beat the Raiders in a week or two. That's how bad we both are. But that remains to be seen. But yeah, the Ravens have a chance. The Bengals have a chance, and the Steelers, you might want to figure out that your peyote smoking quarterback needs to go sit in a shack somewhere and start dating better chicks, because every time he goes from this girl to that girl to the next girl, he goes down a peg each time. So you know your quarterback sucks when he starts when his chicks go down too.
Wow. Jesus. Talk about hot take. Okay.
Hey, look at all the girls that he went out with, and each time they're bottoming out. I don't know who he's going out with now, but I know that she's probably worse than Shailene Woodley.
That's fine for sure. Here you go, AJ. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. All right, Violator. I don't know how you follow that up, but try your best.
That's pretty hard. That was so in depth. I was taking notes. But listen, this whole resurgent talk that we're doing about the Ravens, we know how the Ravens operate. They're a slow rolling machine, and they start off sometimes fast in the beginning, but they have that lull in the season, and they're coming out of that lull right now. Like you said, as long as Lamar's healthy, Mr. Henry is healthy, that front office knows how to bring in defensive studs. It doesn't matter who they plug and play. These guys contribute right away. So kudos to that front office for having that hub, which is the defense, helping them to possibly go back and be in that championship race. I'm not worried about them resurging. They just kind of took a hiatus in the middle there. And all the teams right now are banged up. If you really look around the league, everybody's banged up at this point in the season, but it's the one that's the healthiest towards the end that usually surges in front of everybody else, regardless of stats.
Agreed. I like it. Okay. All right, Dub. What you got over there on the Bears? Not the Bears, but the Ravens resurgence. We'll get to the Bears in a minute. Jumping the gun. But how do you feel about the Ravens resurgence? You had anything that from a football coach perspective that you can lend to our ears?
No, I mean, I think that, they stayed true to it. A lot of times what happens is people start panicking, especially early on in the season, and they get away from their bread and butter. They get away from their identity. This is a team that never panicked because, they felt like it was injuries or just, whatever it was. They didn't panic. They didn't completely abandon ship. They know what their identity is. They know what what they rock and roll with on offense and in defense. Most of the questions was really on the defensive side of the ball. And they found something that they've been able to get by week to week. That's really all it is. It's just get by week to week. It doesn't have to be one single fix that, that you could just implement and go in, as a blanket for the rest of the season. You game plan for each opponent as it comes along. And I think the thing that plays most favorably in their benefit is that they have most of their division games still ahead of them. Yeah. So they still got to play the Steelers twice. So they still got a chance to, to separate themselves even more and really take over, the leadership in that division. And of course, these are the two head coaches that face each other more than anyone else. And I don't know the stats on this, but they've got to be, I think Harbaugh and Tomlin have probably, if not the most in the NFL history, and probably face each other more times than anybody else. I don't know if there's any other two coaches that have faced each other more than them. So there's so much familiarity there that it doesn't matter what the records are, it's going to be a tough game. So the fact that they played them twice, I'm not sure if they've played the Browns or the Bengals yet. I think they may have played the Bengals. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but either way, they have a majority of their division games ahead of them. And that's really what matters most, because this is a team that can easily get away with the division lead. A lot of people are thinking wild card, but they can easily get away with a division championship because they still have most of their divisional games going, and they know what they do well, and they're going to do it better than anybody else in the league, and they just had to get healthy. So I don't think that they really went anywhere. They're right where they want to be. Everything that they want to accomplish is still ahead of them, so they're in a good position.
Okay. According to BaltimoreSportsAndLife.com, it says Mike Tomlin leads John Harbaugh 16-14 overall. 14-13 in the regular season, 2-1 in the playoffs.
It's pretty even. It's a slight edge. It's pretty even. So that's a great matchup. It's always going to be great. I don't know when they play, but I'm sure if it's not flexed, if it's a Sunday, it might be flexed into a Sunday night or something like that, because that's always a prime matchup.
Well, it might not bode well for the Steelers because they are 0 forever in prime time.
They play them week 18.
Week 18. There we go.
Okay.
Second matchup against the Steelers.
So. Well, in the last 2 weeks are all flexible games. They don't have any times yet for the last 2 weeks of the season, so that's going to be interesting. You got some, Cap? Got your hand up, Cap. You all right?
Yeah, only because I'm the old part. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Can it finish?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. Only because I'm the old bastard. And again, no offense to all you youngins on here, because I know y'all know like recent shit, but Curly Lambeau and George Hallis, let me see here, 49 times meeting each other way back when the helmets were leather.
Or yeah.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that. Yeah.
Me neither.
Oh, Curly Lambeau.
And coaches didn't
Yeah,
get fired for 2 years either. Then so that's another thing.
Yeah,
And they were only
They owned the
18
team. They were their own boss back
Right
then.
now, yeah, too. Yeah, too.
and again, only because, and again, I wasn't trying to be an or whatever.
No, that's good though. That's good.
I said I thought of it, and if there's somebody else, I don't know of anybody beyond those guys. That's old Bears, old Packers.
Gotcha.
And you said that was 49 combined games.
Let's see here. Yeah, 49.
And
Nice.
so you said they're 16 and 14, so they're at 30. Tomlin and Harbaugh are. So hey, man, if they hold true to their jobs, they may be able to pass that one.
They might. They
Yeah,
just might.
yeah.
Twice a year, maybe once in the playoffs. They get at least 3 games a year potentially.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Close.
All right, G,
Close.
bring us home on the Ravens, and then let's start with the Bears. Let's go into how you feel about the Bears resurgence after you talk about the Ravens.
Yeah, so for the Ravens, I mean, this is like Coach said, like just kind of echoing everybody said, this is kind of like where they want to be. I mean, I think at least I know Coach and myself have never really believed in the Steelers, not since they were 5-2 or whatever they were. So they, no faith in them whatsoever, and it finally, was brought to fruition on Sunday night. But yeah, I think the Ravens, they're the clear-cut favorites and should be to win this division. They were the favorites to win this division at 1-4, so nobody in the world bought into this Steelers team, even though they had that 3-game divisional lead. And I don't agree with the point about them making wild card. I think they will win this division. I think if they're fighting for a wild card, that means that they probably lost a couple of games they shouldn't have en route to it. And if that's the case, then there's way bigger issues because with the state of the division right now, you should very easily run away with this. If you let the Bengals back into this after Burrow's injury, if you let the Steelers, regain confidence in a divisional matchup against you, that can only prove terrible for you. So I think the Ravens should be solid. I think Harbaugh is obviously an experienced enough coach to, have this team ready week in and week out. They dug themselves into a massive hole and, they've gotten some help and now you just got to finish the job and finish digging yourselves out. So they control their own destiny. Like you said, they have a couple of key divisional matchups upcoming. So we'll see what they're truly made of in these next coming weeks here.
For sure. Yeah, and you're right, Ed. I mean, I think we all wish that our quarterbacks stay upright, so that's definitely that's another sign. We see what they look like without Jackson.
As shown, yeah. They kind of ride or die with them.
Absolutely. Just a quick note before RG gets into the Bears. They have, out of 8 games left, they have 5 divisional games left.
Yeah.
They got the Bengals twice, the Steelers twice, and the Browns once. And then the Jets are sprinkled in between there, and the Packers and the Patriots. The Jets, Packers, and Patriots are all other 3 games. So yeah, they're in prime position. If they can win their divisional games, they're in prime position to take it back. That's for sure. That's for sure. And I would argue that they're getting more healthy, and the other people are getting more injured. So there's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say real quick, they just may need to win only those divisional games. I think if they just go 5-0 and lose the rest, I don't think they'll lose to the Jets. But
no.
But,
yeah, the Patriots and Packers should give them a good game. I mean, if that Packers team that showed up last Monday night shows up, they should beat them too. Yeah, so that's a whole other conversation. But they got time to digest that. But yeah, I mean, I would argue that they definitely should be the favorites in most of those games. Out of 8, probably should be the favorites in all, but maybe 1, maybe the Patriots game, depending on where they're at the time of what's that week 16. Yeah, week 16 they play the Patriots. So on the 21st of December. So yeah. We'll see. But before we over to the Bears real quick, they're I have to say this. It doesn't look pretty. But the Bears seem to have found some type of magic. And I'm not sure if it's, what kind of magic it is, but they found something with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams over there. And they should. I mean, all the good personnel they have over there, they should be able to win some games, but it hadn't been pretty. But they are 6-3 at this moment in time and trending upwards. So how do we feel today about the as I call them, the cardiac Bears and going into week 11? How do we feel about them? RG, let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears, this is what Bears fans were expecting him to do when he came over. They have brought over a dominant run game, a defense that can take the ball away and set up short fields for their offense. and they're just hanging around in games. That's all you can really ask for with this team. I mean, it's the offensive weapons are good. I think Caleb is progressing a little bit slower than Bears fans were kind of hoping for. I think Ben Johnson's offense, it is a lot. It is a very complex offense that they run. The Lions and Jared Goff will, tell you about that. So I think, Williams is still adjusting to it. And I think we're seeing the adjustment in real time. But I mean, the Bears, like I mentioned, they're clearly the best team in takeaways. They're 6 clear of the next team. It's the Bears and then the Jags. They're second in rushing yards per game this year. So like I mentioned, if you can bring a dominant run game and bring a dominant defense, you can win in this league. You can win any game with that recipe. And as long as they're not turning over the ball themselves, which they are not, again, they lead the league in turnover differential. This is a recipe for success. I mean, the biggest matchups for them are now going to be their divisional matchups. I think similarly to the Ravens, I think they have 4 or 5 divisional matchups left in their schedule. I could totally be wrong about that.
Yeah, they have 4.
They have 4, yeah. So I mean, this is you're 6-3. You're primed up for 4 more divisional games. Do you know which team is the one they face twice?
Packers.
I mean, that's the big one right there. So I mean, this
Lions
is going to
week 18.
Lions week 18. Boom. So I mean, these are going to be the games that make or break you as a team. You're going to show us what you're really made of.
Yeah, good point. Great point. I just want to I have to say this. Going back to Brian Daboll real quick. We cried the river for Brian Daboll, but listen here. Brian Daboll is going to make $666,000 a month for the next 2 years.
Oh, so
with that buyout.
And
You said
he doesn't
667.
have to ride Jackson Dart anymore for that money either. Remember what I said last week?
That's like when Ed Orgeron got fired from LSU and he said, "You're going to pay me how much to just stop? Where's the door?"
Yeah. I think Brian Kelly's probably getting paid more than both of them.
Well, there's a lawsuit going on about that because LSU is trying to say they're going to fire him for cause, so he can't get his money.
Yeah, good luck.
It's like the most Brian Kelly thing ever to happen.
Yeah, what's the cause? The team sucks ass. That's the cause.
I'm ready to say that.
Yeah.
What's the cause? Because.
That's funny.
I said so.
This breakdown is hilarious. He gets 25 cents a second, $15 a minute, $913 an hour, $21,000 per day, $153,000 per week, and $666,000 per month for the next 2 years.
Hey, it's a good job if you don't want to do it.
I'm just saying. Maybe we're in the wrong business. That's all.
Yeah, can I get paid that to not coach?
Hello.
Yeah.
I'll pod 24/7 if we expect that kind of brand. So I'm just saying, you have to tell me to go home. You have to tell me to get off the air. But
you can go on YouTube and just sell that right there. This is my formula.
Right.
You hope coaches don't follow that, but
right.
That's just the nature of the business too, because our organization is also still paying some coaches and players. So it's just the nature of the game, man. And the money, I say it always levels off at some point. You take your lumps 1 year, you look to make gains the following seasons. So it's just the nature of that money game, man.
Indeed. But getting back to the Bears, but I definitely agree with RG's sentiments. They definitely the litmus test will definitely be the divisional games, whether they can play clean there and get to the point where they can compete in those matchups. Because outside of Vikings, the Lions and the Packers are not gonna roll over for you. That's for sure. All right, Doug, what you feel about the Bears today versus how we felt about in week 1?
So I'm actually going to go on the opposite side of the spectrum, and I'm calling BS on their season. Yes, they have 6 wins, but out of their 6 wins, all 6 are against teams with losing records. Check this out. So they beat Dallas, they beat Vegas, they beat Washington, they beat New Orleans, they lost to Baltimore, then they beat Cincinnati and New York. And out of those 6 wins, right, 4 of them they had to come from behind from. So it looks good.
I was going to say the same thing. Fool's gold. Yep.
And then coming up in the second half of their season, like we said, they have their divisional games, which they've lost both of them that they played so far, so they have the rest of them. Then on top of that, they got Philly, they got Green Bay, and they got San Francisco.
Oh,
So it's not. I'm just saying maybe I'm wrong, but based on how they've been winning,
I don't know if you are. I don't know if you are wrong, sir.
Listen, you have to. I get it. You play your schedule. I can't blame them for playing the opponents that are on their schedule. But for you to be losing in almost all those games and to have to come back against those six, against those opponents, come on, man.
Weren't they up like a lot too on Cincinnati and let Cincinnati come back?
Let Cincinnati come back, and then so like I'm not buying it. I'm really not. I've said it all along. I didn't like the direction they went with the rebrand as far as like, trying to have this building their team around Caleb. The success that they have had has been around their run game. When they are successful, it's been Caleb, running the ball, or their two running backs. Swift has had a great year, and the rookie running back, he's had some breakout performances. But I think if they embrace that, I'll be more likely to say that, this is a team that could maybe, get into a wild card spot or compete in the future. But I'm calling BS on it so far, just because I think it's like RG said, it's fool's gold. You know what I mean? Or I'm sorry, like AG said, it's fool's gold right now. My bad. I got the first initial mixed up.
Yeah, I get it. Too many G's. We got too many G's on the show.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's fool's gold.
I like to just move in silence, like lasagna.
Yeah.
All right, there. I see what you did there.
All right, Lil Wayne.
Oh man, yeah, but I definitely think that it's going to be a test. Yeah, they're in murderous row now with their schedule. So you're right, Dub. I don't know how this is going to fare because you fought all this way to get to 6-3, and if you lose majority of these games going forward, which they could do, you just basically screwed yourself out of a good draft pick by 15 games early.
That's it.
You're gonna get dog walk late, so it's a bad omen. It's a bad omen for sure. And again, Caleb is, to RG's point, he's coming along slow, and to Ben Johnson's system is complex. It takes a really good, nuanced and veteran quarterback to quote unquote, get things going, in a fluid way. Ask Jared Goff that question. I think if he was fresh in the league, he might be struggling with the same breadth of what Caleb's going through right now. So, yeah, it's going to take some time. I think it is going to take some time. But yeah, I share the sentiments as well with you. Violet, what do you have on the Bears? How do you feel about their season? Do you think they can keep this going, or are they going to fall on their face like Dub said?
I'm not too hyped about the Bears. Like you say, they're in season 1 of this Ben Johnson rebrand, and from what I'm seeing, they do have a decent running attack. Romo Duze is okay in the receiver room, but Caleb, to me, tries to take on too much and be a hero, and he won't last long at that rate. He has all the attributes. He's a real savvy QB, but when it comes to protecting himself, he's going to get his welcome to the NFL moment.
That's a good one. That is a good one, man. I don't know. I was talking to Daboll, I was talking to RG. I don't know who I was talking to, but I was saying that quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks in general, just have the ability to want to do too much. It's not wrong to want to throw the ball away and live another day.
Yeah.
They want to play hero ball too much.
It's a product of college football, though. I'd like they could get away with it back at that level, and so they develop that habit. And then can't do it in the league.
Right.
And also 7-on-7 culture.
Like 7-on-7 is 7-on-7.
And I think too, like you hear a lot of QBs talk about like, I didn't know how to identify this coverage in college because I just had this one guy and it was either that read or run around. And then it's like, like that they are able to get away with it then and then get here. Like that was Caleb's game at USC. Like he was like a magician.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. Yeah, what you got on the Bears? How do you feel about their season so far? Do you think they can make a run?
God, I hate saying this, but what was it that dude? I think his name was Al Davis said was just win, baby.
Yeah.
I mean these wins have been fugly up to including the blocked kick that beat the Raiders, and I'm gonna throw this out here as well. the woulda, coulda, shoulda wins that the Raiders should have had. One was the Bears, one was the Jaguars, and most definitely the other friggin' night. That'd be 3 more wins. But unfortunately, instead of it going down as W's, it goes down as L's. So it's what the record is, okay? They were good enough to win X amount of games. I don't foresee them being that much better. And I think that, and by the way, Ed Winchell, who is the biggest USC honk, when Ed Winchell says that Caleb Williams will be out of the league within 5 years, take that, man. Again, Ed Winchell is a big USC homer, and for him to say that about his boys,
he's in the chat.
He's in the chat. He's in the
He's
chat.
got to learn, though. He's got to learn.
Yeah. And that's an indictment. And he knows Caleb Williams probably better than anybody on this panel. Because I know he knows, okay? They're going to win, but they're not going to win as many of those close games. But remember, what was that team last year that had all those close wins? All those close wins, and they went to the playoff. I mean, all those close wins.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. And then they fall flat on their face. So it can be done. I'm not saying that the Bears are going to go to the Super Bowl, but I do think that it's a good stepping stone for getting the team better. Are they going to do it this year? Also, Ed said that he thinks that if the Green Bay can get their stuff together. What was it we were saying? We don't know anything about this season. Thank you there, young RG, for saying that, because we don't. I said the Packers come out decent at times, and then they play like dog doo-doo.
Yeah.
So we don't know. But the Packers should get their stuff together. The Lions are that team, and the Vikings, I think, can be that team.
I don't know.
I think can be maybe, but give it to the Lions until anybody else says otherwise, and then it's just going to be a dog scrap for if somebody wants to come along to be a possible playoff contender. Because I don't know, but the Bears are going to be they're going to be about a 500 team when all is said and done, in my estimation.
I like it. Okay. All right, AG, bring us home before we get over to talking about these Falcons. What do you feel about the Bears today? Do you have anything that we aren't aware of at this moment?
No, I mean, I would echo more of Mike Dubb's take on them. Like, they've had a lot of close, perhaps lucky wins, and it's a little bit of fool's gold to buy into that and think they're going to really push for the NFC Norths. Excuse me. But I do think that they are developing the right stepping stones, if you will, to make that kind of push next year. And if we continue to see Caleb develop, grow more in Ben Johnson's offense, I think the Bears can be taken pretty seriously next season. But I will shout out, I think we have seen, like RG said, not as much of a turnaround with Caleb Williams, but we have seen one, and he is on pace to be the first ever 4,000-yard passer for Chicago. So, I mean, they got some right pieces in place, and I think have at least determined that they found their coach to build with, looking ahead.
I like it. Okay. All right, we'll see how things go, man. And I personally root for Caleb. I mean, he came up in the Boy Scout program that I coached. He's friends with Jarius Patterson, who I directly coached, and a few other kids that are around the NFL and in college that are good. His good friends, Chase Young and a few others. So as a local kid, I root for him, but he has to come to hero ball down, man. I mean, if I see him, hover around home, I would tell him directly, you have to, play with instruction. It's okay to throw the ball away, because if he can get that down, I think he'll be better. But just the wildness by which he plays and try to make plays too much. Yeah, it's just too much. I mean, again, it's okay to throw the ball away and live to play another down. So we'll see how things roll. But I think that they have the right coach. I think they have a talented quarterback. They definitely got the right personnel. I mean, they spent all that money on the O-line. The defense has got all that talent on the other side. It should work. It's just a question of will it, All right, so let's float over to got a new segment here. Something we call Fix Your Franchise. So it's a rolling segment that we created here recently on the pod. And talk.
I abstain from this when it comes down to mine. I'm just saying.
When your franchise comes up on the docket, you abstain?
I will abstain. I'm gonna let Violator handle that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Wayne. I'm throwing you to the wolves on that one because I already say too much crap about our team as it is. So it'd be redundant at this point.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do with this segment, and like I said, it's a rolling segment, we're going to choose the Atlanta Falcons this week because I think myself, Coach Dub, I think RG as well, we had high hopes for the Falcons this year. We thought they would make more of a splash. And they seem to be floundering and teetering down the line, just kind of falling down the rabbit hole of loss after loss, and we just can't explain what's wrong with this team. We thought they had the right coach. We thought they had the right quarterback. Definitely got the right running back. My God. I mean, what are they doing with B.J. Robinson right now? Only person that's flourishing on the side is freaking Drake London. Kyle Pitts is a freaking super athlete. He can't seem to catch the ball consistently. We just don't know. So as I guess you say, a round robin form, we're not going to pick and choose who's going to go in this particular space. So if please speak up in regards to what you think you can add to this particular conversation. So what do you think can fix the franchise? I guess you can say temporarily and permanently to get them back on track, because things are going well from a personnel perspective, but it's not translating on the field. So, I'm going to start with Dub because I think he has something to talk about in this space. But if anybody else wants to chime in after Dub, please do so. It don't have to be in order. But let's talk about what you think from an analyst perspective, what you can do, or as if you were a GM or owner today, what you can do to fix the franchise.
Yeah, I think the first thing, kind of how we talked about with the Ravens, is the Ravens stuck to their identity and they knew who they were and they didn't panic when things didn't go well. I think the Falcons have to figure out what their identity is. It seemed like they were just in a mode of just collecting talent and not necessarily, figuring out how the talent all fits together. So it's like they went out and they got the best players available, and they have, no question, one of the most talented teams just on paper, just based off of, individuals. Drake London, we mentioned Kyle Pitts, of course, Bijan. They got 2 first rounders at edge rusher, I think, this year, the secondary. So yeah, the offensive line is got some pretty solid guys. But the question is, where does it all fit scheme wise? Are they a ground and pound team? You saw they had some success. I want to say it was last year, where it was like Algier, and they had another good running back, and they ran the ball really well. And then next thing you know, they got away from that and they started feeding Drake London and tried to get Kyle Pitts involved in it. So I think they just have to figure out what's the best scheme for them, not necessarily who are the best players. So that's really where it starts, and it really comes down to Raheem Morris and making this team his own. This is his second year, I believe, there now. Yeah. So by now he should have a feel for what guys are able to do, what's the best fit for him. So next year, I think will definitely be make or break for him. I think he should get another year. It doesn't look good right now, record-wise. I think we're at 3-7 with four straight losses or something like that. It doesn't look good for them right now. But I think if Raheem Morris, I'm getting a little bit more hands-on with this team, and I'm going to make this team what I know it can be. So if that means we're going to have to make some decisions with the coordinators, if that means we're going to have to make some personnel decisions, some play calling decisions, whatever it is, if I'm Raheem Morris, if I'm going to get out of here, I'm going to get out of here doing it my way. So he has to get a little bit more hands-on with how this roster is going to shape up. And let's see if they can end this thing on a positive note. I don't think it's completely over for them yet, but it doesn't look good. But I think it can be salvaged.
Well, I give you some, breaking information in regards to their schedule. Now, if they can't get right over these next 3 weeks, I don't know what to tell you, because they got the Panthers, the Saints, and the Jets for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
they need to win all 3.
Yes, this really could be make or break. If they lose any of these games or all 3 for sure, that could be a hot seat conversation. Because if you can't get those things done, I don't know what we're doing here. Because clearly you're the more talented team on paper on all of those fronts. So yeah.
And
go ahead.
Even going back to the decision that they made to pay Kirk Cousins all that money for him to just come in and then trade up to draft a quarterback that same exact year. Mm-hmm. It's like it doesn't seem to be any type of rhyme or reason to what they're doing aside from just collecting whoever they think is the best players on the market at the time. So, they have to, at some point in time, you have to have some type of plan. I'm surprised that they weren't as involved in the trade deadline as we would have thought they were. But for whatever reason, they feel like they have what they need in the building, and they're going to find a way to make it work. But I just hope, and I don't know how involved Raheem Morris is with the day-to-day and how involved he is with the roster and all those things like that. But I would like to see him, kind of stake his claim on building this team the way he wants it to be built and running the team the way he wants it to be ran in order for them to get some type of results. Because whatever's happening right now it's not happening.
I like it. Their only 2 wins are against the Bills, ironically. That was an ugly, strange loss on Monday night. And then they beat Commanders in a shootout, 34-28.
And the Vikings. Minnesota, yeah. They got 3 wins. They're 3-6, I think.
Oh, yep. I didn't scroll that far enough. You're right. They beat the Vikings second week. Yep, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, that should tell you a lot.
Here's my take on the Falcons. From my viewpoint of it, Mr. Blank is getting up in years. And what I've seen the last couple of seasons is them, like Coach B said, bringing in talent. Bringing in that talent, and they don't gel and build that chemistry. Here you have all this talent, but you have an Atlanta Falcons team that really has no identity. Yeah. And you see it from week to week. You don't know if they're going to be heavy on the run, or they like you say, they've got this Pitts guy who I thought was going to be a phenom, but he can't seem to hold a rock when it's thrown to him. So basically you're looking at a team that's almost in desperation mode, and whether Coach Raheem has a chance to really put his fingerprint on it, overall you have a team with all this talent amassed and young talent, but no identity.
Yeah. That's a good point. Because you're right. I didn't even think about that. What are they? Are they a running team? Are they a passing team? I mean,
I can answer that.
I'm telling you,
they should be a damn running team.
Amen.
Yeah,
the numbers support they should be a damn running team. When they give Bijan at least 17 carries in a game, they're 3-1 this season.
Yeah.
Week 1, they only give. Sorry, real quick.
There has no bearing on fantasy for you, dude. Are we not gonna?
No, but like I'm not even joking. Like the numbers, the contrast between them winning, it correlates with them giving Bijan carries. Right. Week 1, they give him 12 carries, they lose.
Right.
Week 2, 22 carries, they win. They blow out Minnesota 22-6. Week 3 against Carolina, that's when they get shut out. They give them 13 carries. Week 4, Washington. Sorry, Dub. They give them 17 carries. That's another win. Go to the bye week, come out, beat Buffalo, upset them. They give them 19 carries there. And then they're on a 4-game losing streak now, 14, 9, 12. And then this last game against the Colts, they did give them 17 carries. And they probably should have won that game. That was the one in Germany this past week, the one that went to OT. But, I mean, like, it's I don't know what more they're looking for. It's clear you're a running first team. You drafted him in the top 6. I don't think you take a running back top 6 and not expect him to be the center of your offense. Yeah. You have Drake London as a nice compliment. Kyle Pitts. Penix is a good game manager, but I feel like I saw a tweet somewhere, and I feel bad not crediting the guy who tweeted it, but it was something along the lines of like, they are coaching this team like they're trying to justify their Michael Penix pick and not like they're trying to win football games. Because if you're trying to win football games, you're putting this ball in Bijan's hand 19 times a game without question. Why is Tyler Algier having 6 touchdowns and Bijan's only got 4? That one might be a little bit on fantasy, but I digress.
I love it. But RJ, you're absolutely right. And for you to break that down as the analyst, to be a well-compensated coach should be obvious. So why are we not doing what you were saying they should do is baffling to me. Because like put the ball in his hand, they win. Simple.
Let me interject here, because again, I don't have stats in front of me. I did not sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and fantasy can blow me. I don't give a crap about any of that stuff. Okay, you guys do that. But if Bijan Robinson has all of those accolades, then that means that their offensive line probably is decent. If their offensive line is probably decent, then I would run the friggin' ball. And you said you don't draft a running back in the top 6 and not be a running team. Is there another team that has done?
Another team? I feeling that was going to get your guy.
I did something.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
Hey, you know what? You know what? You're freaking right. But the thing is that they have an offensive line. Another team that drafts a great running back within the top 6 picks don't. So I would say if you got that great offensive line and you run the dude, run him. And if you can get some air ball or air under the throat for the receivers, that's a bonus. So Raiders, fix your friggin' offensive line, and you might have a decent team. And the Falcons, run the ball more. If you got the runners, if you got the offensive line, friggin' run the ball.
They got 2 heavy hitting running backs and they underutilize them. That's insane.
Yeah. And they got Bijan on his rookie deal. It's like, what are we doing?
That's another part.
What you got? Like RG said, they're trying to justify picking Michael Penix, and you kind of see that.
Yeah.
And they're trying to force that issue when the elephant is right there. Run your guy behind these big linemen you got, and shorten the game.
There you go.
And let your defense clean up the mess. You know what I mean?
They did that against the Bills, so I thought that was going to be the blueprint. And what did they do after that? Just lose. You know,
4 straight.
You guys know that's in football circles. That's called getting cute. You dance with who brung you.
Amen, brother. Yeah. Amen. I could have said it better myself. Absolutely right. W has something? I feel like you had something.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, like, the complement to a good run game is a good defense. So the fix, I think, has to be they have to get heavy on their defense. And Raheem Morris, if I'm not mistaken, is a defensive guy. So the fix is going to be, because what that tells me from a coaching perspective is that if you're not running the ball a lot, they probably are down and they're panicking on offense and they're trying to, for whatever reason, they got away from the run game. They're trying to come from behind. They're trying to throw the ball, whatever the case is. So if you slow the game down, like Violator said, you have to have a good defense. We know they took two edge rushes this year. Yep. Maybe they're in the process of building that defense up, but that's the best complement to a good run game is a good defense. So that's going to be the fix. Is going to start on that side of the ball. So maybe that's
where I was going to come in too, Dove, with that. Yeah. Because I was kind of looking, as you were saying, I'm like, it seemed, looking at their schedule, they really only have 2 bad losses. The rest of them are all very close games.
Yep.
Hell, some of them, like one play, they could have won them. And so I was like looking like, where's the math at in the equation? And they're bottom of the barrel against the run on defense. So there's your if they just get better against the run, because they're letting the other offense dictate the game flow, dictate time of possession, and then you're forcing Michael Penix to have to go out there and make plays rather than rely on Bijan and build the offense through that. So I think what Dove's saying is probably 100% spot on, in that Raheem Morris is going to get more hands-on as a defensive guy and, have a little bit more say-so in who's playing the schemes against the run specifically. Because, they also have 29 sacks as a defensive unit. So it's not like they're not getting after opposing QB. That's like 5th in the NFL right now. They're doing good in that department. They just cannot stop the run. So I think that's probably the quickest fix. And then in turn, that lets them build off their own run game and not put Penix in some of these situations late in games where defenses are just teeing off on them.
Yeah. Good point. Because do you think, and I think we brought this up in the offseason, do you think they now regret letting Grady Jarrett go?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They have to. Yeah, they have to.
Yeah. He was your run-stopping guy. He was that guy. He was that monster in the middle of that defense that was just shutting things down, period, when it came down to running interior. So they can beat in the inside of their defense, because I think the edges are holding up pretty well. I'm looking at Jalen Walker and James Pierce, what they're doing. They were wreaking havoc against Daniel Jones over the weekend. So it's clearly that they're coming into their own and they're doing what their first-round grade has been, is garnering. But if they're getting gashed in the interior, we saw what Jonathan Taylor did, obviously, to the tune of what he had 200-some yards and 3 tuds. So, if they can beat it from a run perspective, they need to address that interior D-line and those linebackers. For sure.
Isn't the foot guy still available? Christian Wilkins?
The foot man.
You know,
Foot fetish.
Seinfeld had the ass man. He's the foot man.
you know.
Prince is
Actually,
your
Yeah.
foot fetish.
He's a foot, ass, and a couple other things, man. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say
Yeah.
that.
The French tickler, that's him. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's,
But I
he's
mean,
still
it-
out
it-
there, but how available he is, that's in question. He is out there.
That right? Yeah. He's
And,
way out.
and he
Yeah,
should be
he's
healthy
out there,
right now.
and he's out there.
He
He
should
is
be
out
foot-
there.
Well, I mean, I'm not out there like out there, but he's out there available. But who wants to bring that into a
That
locker?
locker room drama. I don't
Yeah.
think nobody wants it. That's the reason why he's sitting on the bench right now, for sure.
Yeah, and that's a shame. That's a shame.
It
There's
is.
tons
It
of teams that can use him, but either way, I think, like you said, Raheem Morris, he's got to be more involved in that defense, and to see if they can get that thing going. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I will focus on winning these next 3 games to keep the heat off me. And then I would tell the front office in my exit meeting that, look, we need to go into the draft this year and get the internal defense solidified, and then we'd be rocking and rolling. Because they got good corners. They drafted Xavier Watts, the kid out of Notre Dame. He's a stud. The kid, Billy Bowman Jr., is actually a slot corner, was drafted as a safety. He's a slot corner. He's playing well. So they have pieces and young pieces and cheap pieces because these guys are late round picks that are shining. So they got the labor force. They just need to be able to put this scheme together and not be so leaky against the run. I think they might be in business, but I think Raheem needs to fix it, sooner than later. Because I think Arthur Blank is a patient man, but I'm not sure how patient he is. Because like Violet said, he's getting up there in years. He want to see a winner before he gets too old and get senile. So yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But we'll see how things roll. Any final thoughts on the Falcons before we move on?
Run the damn ball.
Amen. Amen. Indeed. Unless you're playing me in fantasy, RG, they cannot run the ball that week. That's for sure. That is for sure. All right. So yeah. But yeah, we'll do this fix the franchise segment every so often. And let us know in the comments if you want us to do a specific team. I know the Raiders are at the top of the list for some people in the chat, but
Just keep it
We can do a
rolling.
whole whole episode on the Raiders.
you're right. You're right.
Hey, that'll be at the end of the season, pending anything else. Okay.
Indeed. All right, so let's move on to our segment called Do You Believe? It is our weekly segment where I give them, the panel, some questions that they don't know what's going to come to their brains until I ask them. What am I going to ask them is they don't know the question. They don't know what's going on. It's going to be a fresh reaction to these hot button questions. There's some good ones this week.
And you can look like an ass like I did last week. Be sure to join each week on Do You Believe here on the Lockdown Blitz Show.
I love it. So yes, we're going to get some front-facing reactions, some real-time reactions to these questions, and there's some good ones here. All right, so I'm going to start with Violet this week. This is a good one for you, sir. This is a AFC question. Do you believe that the Colts can go only as far as Jonathan Taylor will take them?
Wow, man. Yeah, I believe yes, because along with Daniel Jones and that offensive line, yes, they can set the tone and control games. And they, like I say, they have a decent young defense. So yes, I do believe.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a sneak diss subliminal tweak to Daniel Jones and his woes because clearly he's had
little sneaky.
a little bit of sneak diss to the point he's had some rough outings the last couple of weeks. So he's only saving grace has been Jonathan Taylor. So I would argue that the run game, if that's not there, because we saw what the Steelers did some last week, that if they don't have that run game going, he could revert back to the old Daniel Jones of New York. So yeah, I do believe you there that they only go as far as Jonathan Taylor would take them, but we'll see. All right, so let's go over to RG.
Oh man, what you got for me, Coach?
AFC East question for you, sir.
All right, let's hear it.
Do you believe that the Patriots can hold the lead in the AFC East?
Absolutely. Especially after that loss, that ugly loss that Buffalo just had to Miami. And probably the Patriots' most impressive win of the season coming against Tampa, the fake Pirates. I got you, Cap. The fake Pirates. So I mean, So I just think it's all coming up Patriots, honestly. They have a great defense. That money they spent in the offseason is well spent. That run defense is elite. That pass defense led by Christian Gonzalez is also very good at shutting down top receivers on opposing teams. And Drake May is playing like an MVP candidate right now. So absolutely. The Patriots are riding high, and momentum is a dangerous, dangerous thing.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. I love it. All right, Dub, you're up next. We talked about them earlier, and you had a nice hot take about the Bears and kind of shifted the conversation. So do you believe that the Bears are a playoff team in 2025?
No. No.
Short.
I gave
N-O.
No.
Yeah, no. And I gave all the reasons why. Yeah,
Preceded by hell.
All the reasons why before.
Actually, it preceded by Hell, Tango, Foxtrot. No.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, for all the reasons I mentioned earlier, no, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, AG. We're going to go over to take a ride out to the NFC West on this question. Do you believe that Sam Darnold could lead the Seahawks deep into the playoffs?
I'm going to have to say no. I don't think Sam Darnold can lead them. I think the Seahawks defense can lead them.
I was waiting on
because
that.
We have to give Darnold some praise. He has played good at times, but then there's been other times when, like the last week, I think I mentioned to you, not to trigger Cap, but a fantasy conversation. It's like, how the hell did Seattle score 40 whatever points and Darnold had 6 fantasy points? It's like so it's a little bit kind of like the Colts. Looking at the Colts, like as a complete team, they are pretty great. But if they have to rely on certain components like Darnold, I think they won't go that deep in the playoffs.
I like it. All right, Cap, bring us home. You're going to like this one. This is the AFC West question for you, sir, but it's not about the Raiders. All right. Do you believe that the Broncos can hold the lead in the AFC West?
What's their lead right now?
1 game.
No. Makes it easy. I mean, the Chiefs are resurgent. The Gargoyles looked really good. Oh, I'm sorry. The Chargers looked really good.
You had to do it, didn't you?
Come on, man. I called them the fake Pirates. I was respectful.
You're right.
Hey, I quickly corrected it, kind of. But I had to throw it in there. But hey, the Chargers, here we go. The Chargers looked like real team. Granted, they were only playing the Steelers, but they did play them at home. Okay. And by the way, what was the home crowd on that game? I couldn't tell watching it.
It was 60-40 according to the fans that I talked to that were at the game.
Okay, so 60-40 LA?
Steelers fans.
No, yeah, so yeah.
That's what I was asking, because you guys got to do something about that. Okay? If you have more fans of the opposing teams, that is actually going to affect going down the road the way your team can play. It affected them in San Diego. It's going to affect them to a point in LA. And they played a damn good game the other night. And I was watching. I was like, what do you mean it's 3-2? I didn't even see the safety. And it could have been a touchdown from what I had to ask somebody, how'd they score a safety, right?
Right.
But they played a complete game as I was able to watch the game from my show. And the Chargers are upcoming. The Broncos are decent, but then again, they had a stinker and they should have lost the other night. I hate saying woulda, coulda, shoulda, but they should have lost that game on Thursday night. I'm pretty much everybody on this panel will agree with me, and we all know about the resurgent Chiefs. Okay, so 1 game is not a lead that's going to be, easy to maintain. I did, and I had the tape on this. I did say that the Broncos were going to win the AFC West on my show. They still have the auspices to be a playoff team, but will they be able to maintain that? As of right now, in week 10, 11, whatever the frick week we're in, no. That's a lead that is very, very attainable for everybody else.
I like it.
I would add too. The Broncos kind of have that stink around them that the Chiefs had last year, but nobody's talking about it the same way, in that they're 6-2 in these close 1-score games.
I think that was a "Do you believe?" question a few weeks ago. I asked them, "Do we think that the Broncos are the new Chiefs?" I think I asked that question.
Yeah, I just mean on a national scale.
Oh, God.
People are like, the Broncos are so good in these 1-score games.
Right.
But as I think Cap kind of said earlier in the show, like that comes to a very halting stop at some point. For the Chiefs, it was in the Super Bowl. For the Broncos, we'll see.
Right. I like it. Okay, good stuff.
See, I didn't totally denigrate that team in LA.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate your kindness.
No, but to jump into what Cap said about your crowd being unbalanced, we know all too well about that since the move to Vegas. And it's like we're visiting the other team stadium, which is so, for me, it's so unnerving that I got to get extra counseling by the time I get out of there. But it's just the nature of the business, And
it is.
Vegas, LA, New York, those are destination places.
Destination
Absolutely.
spots. And I talked to the other opposing fans, and it's like a freaking holiday for them.
Oh,
and they come there.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I know everybody says, oh, you don't have a home fan crowd, whatever, yada yada. Hey, as long as we keep winning these games, I'm happy sending all those fans home sad with long faces. I'm okay with that. Keep coming to our stadium and watching your team lose. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the Steelers fan was leaving early on Sunday night. That's all.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
they were leaving early. So they were waving them towels in the first quarter. By the third quarter, was mum's the word. So hey,
they were trying to find Rodgers some more peyote. They were trying to do the quarterback a service.
Some ayahuasca. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I mean, just in general, I mean, it's just certain fan bases based upon, I guess you can say, decades that just have a national following. The Steelers being so good in the 60s, 70s, in the 90s and 2000s, they are. They drew a rabid fan base. The Raiders being good in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they grew a rabid fan base. So you got teams, going back to. I remember when I was a kid, you had people on the East Coast wearing Raider jackets. Yeah. And this when football was regional. So just whatever team was good on TV when you were growing up as a kid, typically a lot of people gravitated toward that franchise. Cowboys, Steelers,
Bears.
The Raiders, the Bears. People gravitate to those fan bases because that's what they see. If their home team isn't good at that time, they typically gravitate to the winners. And that's what whoever was winning and dominating the league at that particular time when you grew up as a fan, that's what you gravitate towards too. And that's why the Steelers have such a well-traveled, Packers too. Packers have a well-traveled fan base. Because they were good for years upon years. They haven't been all that years. They have been bad. So those kind of things, kind of just carry over. And when you move cities, because I would argue that the San Diego crowd was very much more pro Chargers.
Oh yeah.
But the LA crowd isn't the same because a lot of fans still are in San Diego. And San Diego to LA is not an easy drive. No. On top of the high ticket prices on top of that. So unless you live in the LA area, which most fans that I know go to game, they live in the LA area. They don't necessarily are in the San Diego area. They go to the game. So, it's an ebb and flow to it. It's an ebb and flow to it for anybody that's moved cities, for sure. Because even the Rams are facing that. The Rams fans even worse than our fans because at least we're in California. Our team's always been in California. They were in St. Louis and LA, and St. Louis and LA is, so it just depends on, where you at the time. But I think that
bring it back to St. Louis, man.
Wow. Yeah, they can do that too. Right. You're closer to them, right? You get more action over there.
It's equal distant.
Okay, fair enough.
You think St. Louis would have him back?
No,
not
Kroenke. No, dude. The city of St. Louis hates that man.
Yeah, that's why
they voted because they put together this whole new proposal to build a new stadium right on the river. They voted for it all, got the funding, and then he said, because he told them, if you guys give me that, we'll stay. They got it all. And he's like, nah, we're leaving anyways. He did them dirty.
Pulled the rug out from under him. That's crazy.
Right, and Cool Cat pulled my point. Bo Jackson was public enemy attracted to him to the Raiders, and he was in New York. So yeah, that tells you right there. New Yorker loving Raiders. So there you go. And they were in LA at that time, right? Or Oakland?
Yeah,
they were in LA. Yeah,
in LA. So yeah, there you go. So okay, all right, good stuff. RG, you got anything for me before we move on, or you good?
Did you already ask Alex's? Am I tripping?
Yeah,
I did.
Oh, you did. All right, bet. All right, I do got one for I got one for you, Coach. So you mentioned a couple of questions about do you believe certain teams can hold on to their division leads? And right now, I'm kind of taking a look over at the NFC. And so out of the 4 NFC division leaders, which one, in your opinion, is most at liberty to drop out of first come playoff time?
Seahawks. And I say that because of the Rams.
Yeah.
I think that game.
That was your hot take.
That's my hot take, and I'm riding high with it right now. So yeah, I think that the Rams ultimately supersede, because if I had to take Sam Darnold over Matt Stafford, I'm taking Matt Stafford all day. I think it comes down to the quarterback. They both got good defense. They both got good offenses. I think that the line in the sand will be quarterback play, and Matt Stafford is a Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning quarterback, and I'm taking him all day over the Seahawks in that space. It's going to be close still, because they'll still, quote unquote, get to the point where they are, are nipping on their heels and coming in second. But I think the Rams ultimately win that division, and it's tight. It's tight right now. It's only a game apart in this space. So, and I think they played them this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they do. I was gonna say it's also tight in the NFC North too. Detroit, Chicago are both 6-3, but I know we talked about you don't think Chicago is that real, so.
Right.
So I guess it's going to be.
And I don't know what to make of the Lions or the Packers at this moment. Who's going to, when they play again, that's going to be a good one, because I don't know who's going to win that game. What Packers team's going to show up one, and are the Lions going to be healthy too? Just all questions to be asked. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good one. But I do think the Rams are ultimately to be the ones for sure to supersede the division and take it away from the Seahawks. If by nothing else, by head-to-head matchups.
For sure.
All right. Alrighty, so let's move down the line. Let's talk to our new segment, a rolling segment called Cover Forecast. We got a quick segment here about predicting futures. So we're going to predict who different people's futures and who might be in limbo.
Oh, let me do Daboll again.
No, actually, I got it pegged to who's going to do who. Pause. But
no, I was kidding anyway.
That's a good catch.
I predict that Daboll will not succeed with the Giants.
Right. Well, this is more about what their next stop is, not necessarily what he's going to do, today, but what they're going to do going forward. So I got a list here of who I want to pick who. So I got Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Brian Daboll, Geno Smith, Mike McDaniel, and Aaron Glenn.
Please tell me you gave me Tua.
No, I gave it to Alex. I gave you Kyler Murray.
All right. You gave me the other short king. All right, bet.
Right. So between coaches and quarterbacks, we're going to predict their future. What each analyst here on the panel thinks they're going to be or doing next, what their next job is going to be, whether it's bagging fries, coaching, playing baseball, whatever.
Playing baseball, damn
it. So what are they going to be doing next? So let's start with RG. What do you think Kyler Murray is going to be doing next season, since he's on the IR and technically benched for the rest of the season?
He is going to be playing for Vegas next season, and not the Raiders, though. He is going to be playing for the Vegas Athletics. He's going to be playing baseball. I mean, it just makes the most sense, man. I mean, Kyler Murray, it's clear Arizona does not want to start him anymore. They were so hesitant of starting him. They placed him on the IR just to not even have any questions about it. Just like, nope, we're with Jacoby Brissett. And that's it. Kyler, unfortunately, I think they are going to try to get up from under him. Pause after this year. And I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's the short QB, man. It's not possible in this day and age. These defensive linemen are too fast, too strong. These guys get killed out there. So Kyler, if you want to keep making money, my boy, go on over to baseball. See if the Athletics are still looking for an outfielder.
All right. Okay. Or shortstop.
Or shortstop. Yeah.
Unintended.
I mean, not that this is a baseball pod, but if anybody does watch baseball, you'll know that the Athletics got their shortstop of the future locked up. So I'm not sure about that.
Till they trade him somewhere else.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Billy Bean don't like to pay people.
I just thank you that you said that he's not playing in Vegas next year. So I thank you, sir. I thank you.
That's what Kev said. Kev said it. Oh man, that's funny. All right, Dub. So we're gonna go back to Brian Daboll real quick. So what do you think his next stop is? If you had to predict it, crystal ball, get your crystal ball out. Tell me, what do you think Brian Daboll does next season?
So I have two different options. One will be offensive coordinator with an NFL team. To me, I think it depends on the situation. I think he's probably going to need a mobile quarterback. So depending on what opportunities are available. But I also have a hot take that I don't know. I feel like he may maybe interview, or maybe if LSU reaches out or one of those college teams reaches out, I think it may be intriguing for him. Just looking at his personality, he's kind of a young hip players coach type of thing. I think he would do well recruiting. Obviously, money wouldn't be an issue, resources wouldn't be an issue. He probably would have a little bit more influence over the guys and things like that. So I think that Daboll is somebody who could really flourish on the college level. Obviously, I don't know him personally to know if he would be interested in that. But listen, if the SEC comes calling, if certain teams come calling, I think you have to listen and you have to entertain that possibility. So I think depending on what the options are available for him, I think we could either see him as a head coach in college or offensive coordinator in the league next year. But he'll be working. He'll be around, and I do think that he'll probably circle back to the NFL sometime in the future.
Okay. Well, the college coaches
It's
or college,
intriguing.
it is.
College one.
College
There's a lot of big time jobs out there.
It is a great cycle. It's even more jobs, lucrative jobs than in college than it is pros right now. So and
it's basically ran the same. Like, here's your money.
But in college, you give away money like Halloween candy. So so why not get another payday while you're at it, right?
So who knows? And I mean, I see Jack, Captain Jack over there with the Gator Chop. I'm sure he would love to get his hands on that young quarterback there in Gainesville, and there's a few other places. So who knows? We'll see.
Okay, all right. Well, let's talk to Captain Jack next. Since he's our resident Floridian, what do you think is Mike McDaniel's next move? Is he coaching the Dolphins next year? Is he bagging fries? Is he washing lettuce? What do you think he's doing? Is he go back to his IT job at Best Buy, Geek Squad? What do you think?
Actually, he looks like the guy that's going to be the mop and bucket guy at the local porno shop, to be honest with you.
That's a rough job.
The look.
It
Can you do that in sweats with the legs rolled up?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a lot. Just make sure you got a lot of bleach and Comet.
He's going to work more in a vape store, I think, would be more.
That's more fitting. That's more fitting, yes. Yes, that's more fitting. Yeesh. Okay.
Yeah, I do it just for Kev, just to make sure he has something to do it. And, I don't know. I mean, he is that guy. He is that offensive genius, and it's somebody is going to give him a gig, just like W was talking about, a college franchise or a pro. It's going to be one or the other, because somebody's going to be intrigued with him enough to give him a gig. But I think that because of the way he is, I think maybe it might be along the lines of if he wants to get easy money, and I don't know if he can recruit, but I can see him going to college, because then he can step back. He can step back away from the NFL, because he really these are those burps and crap I was talking about earlier. He really flamed out as an NFL guy. He went from being the OC that everybody was talking about to this position, and he just really shit the bit on that one. So I can see him obviously in football, and here's the other one that's the easy one. Although if he's got to get a better set of specs and a better suit, he'll be a TV analyst. Because that's the easy gig for all these guys that get fired. They become a TV analyst, and then they can.
Have you heard him talk in the press conference though?
No,
it's not good.
That doesn't mean anything. AP got a job as a TV analyst, and all he did was badmouth the Raiders.
And so we're calling Emeka a big boo.
Yeah. That was in a big egg boo boo, for Gronk,
Right.
So it doesn't matter. It's a name, and it's because of who they are as to what they are doing. Okay, it's a name position. Okay, and he can get maybe it might not be on TV. Maybe it'll be for what do you call it? Radio or Fox Radio. He's going to do something where he can use his analytical skills, and just like that guy up there, he can throw those stats out at you and say, well, according to the stat chart here, it looks like this guy Every 3 out of 5 times he goes on a date, he gets shot down. Okay, well, whatever, because he's going to have the analytical stats to go beyond that. So I think he's going to be a stat guy for somebody, maybe a TV guy, but I can see him going to college to get away from the NFL for a while because I think he blew his chance in the NFL for a while.
At least from a head coach perspective, yeah, I agree with that. Okay. All right, AJ, you up next. So we're going to stay with the Dolphins. So what do you think Tua Tagovailoa lands next year? Is he with the Dolphins still, or is he with another team? Is he, back in Hawaii? What is he doing?
Yeah, I think Tua is going to have to stay on the Dolphins, unfortunately, because even though I think they're going to be done with him, but he carries a almost $100 million cap hit if they move on from him in 2026. If they just wait until after that season, it's only a $35 million cap hit. So I think the writing's on the wall for the end of his Dolphin journey. It's just going to be a year later. And I think, at least piggybacking off of what Cap said, they're definitely already cleaning house. They've already fired the GM. I think they fired some more people not too long ago. It's going to end, at 2025 and see what they can build around for his eventual replacement.
Okay, I like it. All right, good.
Kelly is down there with the Dolphins. When he left the Raiders, he went to Miami. So when they got rid of their GM, they at least got somebody who's qualified to do some decent work.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, Violator. Let's talk Raiders. So what do you think they do with Geno Smith next year? Is he a Raiders quarterback in 2026, or is he somewhere else? Is he doing a podcast with Russell Wilson? What's going on?
You can come on mine.
Can I plead the fifth on this one? But anyway,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Unfortunately, I think as long as Coach Carroll is there, we got to deal with Geno. Even though we can get out of Geno's contract, I think there's a loyalty issue there, and that's really kind of the elephant in the room. Geno's best years have passed him, and I just see Geno as right now he's shell-shocked. That's the only word that I know. He's shell-shocked, and you just don't come out of that, even with an O-line that's improved. So, unfortunately, I think he's there this coming season, and hope that we get the O-line somewhat fixed. But I see us really in the runnings for a quarterback in the first and second round next draft.
Okay, fair enough.
Can I do the dissenting opinion on that since it is a Raiders question?
Sure.
Yeah, I actually, V, I think that they're going to use that Derek Carr clause where it's the bait and switch, where if you look at the contract the way it is, and then you can actually cut him, and it's not as bad as people portend.
Yeah,
okay, they can get rid of him. And it also depends upon who is down coming in the pipeline. And if they see that they got somebody that is worthwhile, they will cut and get rid of him so that the cap hit after June 1st or whatever won't be as bad as they say. Because the other thing is, and this is it, and you guys you're saying like really this is BS, but Geno was not the pick of our coach. He was the pick of that guy, Tom Brady, per sources that know stuff within the Raiders organization. Carroll wanted to go with that guy that went to Minnesota. And Tom Brady talked him out of it and said, no, we're going to bring in Geno for him. And again, that's from somebody that actually, it's not a Raiders guy. It's not in the organization, but it's somebody that is very finely attuned to what's going on within the Raiders. I can't reveal sources, but per this person, Geno was not the guy. They wanted Pete Carroll wanted Sam Darnold, and Tom Brady says, nah, he's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, rough going.
And thus the drama continues.
Right. So, but even still, Cool Cap was right. Geno's only $18 million cap hit, so it's not, world beating.
That won't break the bank.
It won't.
Yeah.
It won't.
See ya.
Yeah. So either way, I think you could move on. Just a question of who you're going to move on to will be the determining factor. But yeah, I definitely think that it should be something different going on in Vegas in 2026. But I just have an issue with with teams reverse engineering things when they're building teams. Like they get the nice rims, they get the nice tinted windows, they get the leather seats and things of that nature, but they look under the hood and the engines looks like shit. So, and I say that because you don't build your O-line. Like you get all the shiny weapons, the tight ends, the wide receivers, the running backs, the sexy cornerbacks and safeties and things of that nature, edge rushers. But guess what? You don't have anybody to block for you. So Geno Smith or Sam Darnold, I think they both will be seeing ghosts at this moment behind that O-line, but that's just me.
Yeah. And we all know the game is won and lost right in the trenches. It ain't the sexy position, but it's the one that makes the money for you when you really look at it. So, and they knew it was kind of a makeshift offensive line, and they put some pieces here and there. But to me, they were bringing in backups to be starters. Yep. And that's not a winning formula right there. So, and they didn't want to tell us that it was an actual rebuild. That's the part that kind of pissed us off. It's a rebuild. So let's see what this offseason, there will be news swarming every day around that squad for sure.
Yeah. Last time the Raiders had a dominant offensive line, it was Assembly and Penn, Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson, and they were good.
Yeah, they were good. Yep. I definitely remember that line. That's for sure. Yep. Okay. Well, we'll see how things go. But I definitely think y'all looking at a different quarterback in 2026. Yes. Last person I want to talk about is Aaron Glenn, real quick. We saw, they fire sold pretty much at the trade deadline. Sold off Sauce Gardner and sold off Quentin Williams. So, and a lot of people saying, will he survive this first year? Is he a lame duck? Is things not going to work out? He's going to be one and done, things of that nature. But I would argue that I would give Aaron Glenn some grace, because let's be honest, this is the Jets. And they have been morbidly dysfunctional for quite some time, maybe all of our lives included, all ages included on this pod. But I would argue that he deserves to be a part of the rebuild. If that's what he's going to do, I think he needs to be a part of it. I think he needs to put his footprint and his stamp on it and be allowed to rebuild, and don't move on from him too early, because you keep kicking the can down the road with these coaches without letting them get comfortable. Till our Raheem Morris point earlier in the pod. I really believe that you're doing yourself a disservice. You got to see if it works before it doesn't. I think that you have to honestly, truly, work out all the kinks, get everything in line, and put all the things in place that you want to put in place. If it doesn't work after that, then you can cut bait. But I do believe with all these draft cap picks they've accumulated over the next 2 drafts and things of that nature, allow for him to build the roster in his image and get the people, the personnel, and the coaches around him that he really, really wants to have. And then if it doesn't work after that, then I would say you may move on to different pastures. But I wouldn't get rid of him just right off, because I do think he is a solid coach. I think the players love him. It's just a matter of, maybe he doesn't have the right quarterback, this OC, whatever the case may be. But I think you should allow for him to get it right before you cut bait. So I would give him some grace in that space. So we'll see what they do. But I think they fired a GM already, or am I tripping? Oh, that was last year.
That was last year.
The Dolphins got rid of the GM this year. So yeah. Okay. All right, good.
They'll definitely be in the running for a quarterback, because I think Justin Fields is as good as gone.
I think that's done. Yeah, I think that's done.
He's done. And I don't see many landing spots for him, maybe as a backup, but as a starter, he's pretty much done.
He's going to go on that Mariota path,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Journeyman backup, yeah.
Yep, that's a good one. Okay.
And Aaron, like you said there, Coach, Aaron Glenn is a damn good coach. And, they got rid of all of these players for the draft capital, and they hired him for a reason. He's like Jets hierarchy. He loves the Jets, and he's a damn good coach. Unlike the guy who was a rah-rah guy for the Raiders, he can actually coach. And if he gets the right people in the right spots, and like you said, 25 suck, but give him 26 and 27 and even into 28. And if you don't, then you just jetted. You know how the Chargers are going to Charger. The Jets just jetted by not giving that guy a chance.
That's a good one, Cab. I like that. Might need to trademark that.
I'd say he at least should get the same amount of time Saleh got, which was what,
Agreed.
three
There you go, yeah.
years.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least.
You know,
At least.
because they
Amen.
jumped the gun too early on firing Todd Bowles, and look what he's doing now in Tampa Bay. So
Exactly.
you know, hopefully they learn from their past mistakes a little
But
bit
this
and
is
give
the
him
Jets,
time.
though.
Yeah,
This is the
well, I
Jets.
know, and it's New York. I mean,
Yeah. In
when
Patriot City.
you got like the center of all media hubs constantly berating your franchise,
Yep.
it's tough not to buy into that. But hopefully they stand pat a little bit and give him time to build his culture.
I like it. I like
They
it.
haven't had a great coach since Weeb Eubank. Look that one up, guys. That's
Wow.
another.
Yeah. Oh, we. Yep.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right, let's get the games of the week real quick as we close the pod out here. Got some really good ones. Really good ones. This top one is going to be interesting because both of these teams are kind of reeling, from injuries or just lack of identity. So that line is kind of sketchy for me personally, even though they are at home. But let's start with the Buccaneers and the Bills. To start off the conversation, the Bills are favored by 5.5. I don't know if I like that at all. But as we always summarily do, turn it over to the degenerate gambler first and talk about who he feels about this matchup. Who you got in this matchup, Buccaneers or Bills?
I got the Bills winning this one, but I got Buccaneers to cover. I think this is going to be a very close game, as most games with the Buccaneers have been this season. I think Baker will keep them right in one score. I would have expected this line to be at like 3.5, maybe, but the fact that it's at 5.5, definitely take those points for the Bucks, because this should be way closer than a touchdown for sure.
Agreed. All right, Cap, who you got? Buccaneers or fake Pirates? To your credit.
Thank you for correcting yourself, sir. Bills are going to win, but the fake Pirates will definitely cover that, no problem.
I like it. Okay. All right, AG, who you got in this matchup?
I echo the past two. I think Bills win, but Bucks cover. I see it being a close game.
I like it. Okay. All right, Dub, who you got?
Same. Definitely got the Bucks covering. 5.5 is a lot, but I do have the Bills winning a close one at home.
Yeah, and the line hadn't changed because I pulled a line yesterday. And today's Tuesday, still hasn't changed. It's still 5.5. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Violator, what you got? Buccaneers and Bills.
I got Bills at home and the weather. So forget the points. I'm taking the Bills and the weather.
That's a good point. Florida team versus a northern team. Yeah, and it's getting cold up here. So, yeah, I definitely agree
40
there.
degree estimated temp.
There you go. It is a day game, so they will have the sun on there in their favor. But yeah, definitely agree. It's gonna be cold.
It's only 40, man. That's
only 40.
Yeah, but the Floridian started the show saying that was pretty cold.
You're right.
Yeah, but I'm not up there, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's not me.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
me.
Okay. Oh, okay.
No, hey, Bills fans are walking around in shorts just like I am here. See? I'm walking around.
Indeed. See, I got Bills with Buccaneers covering for sure. It's gonna be a close game. Absolutely. All right, reverse order. Let's go Seahawks and Rams. This is gonna be a good one. I can't wait for this one, man. Outside of my own team playing, I'm looking forward to this one. But yeah, I want to see what the Seahawks and Rams are gonna do in LA of all places.
Yep.
So, Violator, who you got in Seahawks and Rams? And the Rams are favored by 2.5.
I'm taking the Rams. But that 2.5,
it's a field goal. They got to win by a field goal if they're gonna cover.
Yeah, I think it'd be more than that. But I'm taking the Rams at home.
Okay, I like it. All right, Dub, what you got? Seahawks and Rams.
That's a tough one. I do think that they're going to split in the season. This one with the Rams being at home. I'll say I won't be surprised if the Seahawks win on something like, the Rams missing a field goal late or something like that. I won't be surprised if something like that happens, but I'm going to go and I'm going to say the Rams. I'm going to say the Rams.
Okay.
I'm not confident in it, but I'm going to say the Rams.
Right. And by the way, I did hear that. But I'm not sure if Mara is thinking the same thing. I'm not sure if he's ready for that. He's struggling in college. I'm not sure if he's ready to come back to the pros or not, but we'll see. All right, AG, who you got? Rams or Seahawks?
I got Rams and them taking the points. I think they win by more than the field goal for sure.
I like it. Okay. All right, Kev, who you got? Rams or Seahawks?
Rams, and it's gonna be over 2.5.
Okay. All right, RG, who you got?
Man, this is a tough one, but I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are rolling hot. So give me the 2.5 since I'm going with them. But this is this is going to be an insanely close game. Probably going to come down to the final drive, whoever has the ball last. So I like you, Coach. Apart from my own team, very, very excited to watch this game this weekend.
And it's lovely because we play at 1 and they play at 4, so I don't have no
sir.
conflicts.
Back to back.
I'm gonna conflicts at all. Indeed. Yeah, I'm rolling with my Rams. I know me. You know, that's my NFC team right now. So I roll with the Rams and in my hot take. But yeah. All right. So we got another AFC West battle going on here this week. The Chiefs at the Broncos. They got to go to Mile High. So the Chiefs actually favored on the road by 3.5. So what do you say, RG? Who you got in this one? Chiefs or Broncos?
Chiefs easy. Alex, I'm not even saying this trying to be like, jinxing y'all.
Knocking on wood.
This should be an easy win for the Chiefs. That Broncos offense is off a bye. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches off a bye, and they're favored. I mean, the Broncos are their offense is just non-existent at this point. And the Chiefs, Mahomes in particular, has been looking more and more like their old selves as of late with that kind of bona fide passing attack. So I think if they're able to get up 2 scores kind of early, this will be a quick game.
I like it. Okay. All right, Cap, who you got? Chiefs or Broncos?
Before I go into that, the guy who scheduled this game earlier in the season was fired because he didn't get the memo that the Chiefs get off a bye and play the Raiders. He knew it was an AFC West team, but he messed that one up. So he was immediately fired when the schedules came out and they said that they can't take it back. Tap, no taps back, whatever. So he got fired. And Chiefs easy, probably maybe by double digits because off the bye, the Broncos playing as poorly as they did, and the Chiefs, what was it? The Broncos beat them the last game. Well, was that last year?
Everyone, but yeah.
Yeah. Chiefs are gonna roll over the donkeys. Yeah.
Okay.
But I will remind you, Cap, that they beat the Broncos in KC by blocking a field goal. The matchup before that. So
I understand that, and if it hadn't have been for was it Karlaftis or whatever? That was the guy that blocked it, right?
Yeah, I think it was Karlaftis.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I know this shit. See, that's why you got me on the show, man.
Oh,
yeah, you got a little bit of knowledge in that brain of yours. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. All right. Clearly, Alex, I have a feeling you're going to ride with your team, but please tell us why.
Oh yeah, no, of course I'm riding with my team, man. I have to, and they're coming out of a bye. They really are, like I said at the start of the show, in crunch time. Like they can't really afford any more losses. So, that run starts here in an AFC West showdown. I do think the Chiefs win, but I think because it is a division rival, they're always close games. I think they win by less than 3.5 points.
Okay, fair enough. All right, win but no cover. I got it. Got you. All right, Deb, who you got? Chiefs or Broncos?
I got the Chiefs. Like similar to what everybody was saying. Coming off a bye, Andy Reid, and also this is the point of the season I think where the Chiefs start to get hot and start to make their run for the division.
Oh yeah, definitely agree with that. Okay, we got Violator. Chiefs or Broncos?
Chiefs. Not a landslide win, but they would definitely cover that 3.5 there. I think it's a double-digit win, and I just, I got Chiefs.
From your lips to God's ears, man. Come on.
And I said the same thing, but
I know.
Like the Violator says it. That's racist. That's racist.
Hey, cut it out.
Just saying.
Cut it out. All right.
From everyone's lips to God's ears. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That is definitely better. All right. Yeah, I got Chiefs going too. I mean, the Broncos' offense looks anywhere like it did the last few weeks. They're not going to be able to keep over the Chiefs, no matter how good their defense plays. Then the more chances you get, more practice giving Mahomes on offense, the more he figures things out. So yeah, I definitely think the Broncos will lose this one at home to the Chiefs. And yeah, they should likely cover that 3.5. But yeah, to Alex's point, this game's always tough. So they don't cover, I wouldn't be surprised, but I definitely got them winning for sure. All right, last but not least, the Sunday night football matchup. We got the Lions at the Eagles. This should be a good one. Although the Eagles didn't look like much of anything on Monday Night Football this past week, but we got the Eagles at home with a 1.5 line, which is pretty much a pick 'em for me. So Violator, who you got in this matchup, Lions or Eagles?
I'm taking the Lions in this one, and not an upset, but I'm taking the Lions to cover that 1.5.
Okay. All right, Deb, who you got, Lions or Eagles?
I got the Eagles. I think this is I said this about the Chiefs, but I think this is where the Eagles start to separate themselves. And we start to see the elite teams prove why they're the elite teams. And I do think the Eagles are an elite team. So I'm gonna take the Eagles.
Okay. All right. AG, who you got? Lions or Eagles?
Lions.
Okay.
And cover, I'm
Lions
not
and cover.
even being a hater, man. I just think that the storm's brewing in Philly, and they're due for a bad loss and people to start questioning things a little bit more.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. And it was one of those things where I've been right a lot. I've been early, but I've been right a lot. And I said at the beginning of the season there was some issues with this Eagles team. So if they do fall apart, that'll be another thing on my list that I can check off that I was right about. I was just early on. But we'll see. We'll see. Because that showing on Monday night was not it. It was not it. But a win is a win. But
And Sirianni almost lost the game, going on that fourth down and
weird.
What
dynamics.
the hell was that play call?
I don't know. I would have punted that thing in the coffin corner on the 1 yard line and make them get 99 yards to beat me. But that's definitely not throwing a bomb that could be intercepted and ran back. But that's
team wasn't able to drive on you all game. Let's throw a bomb on fourth down.
Field position to get to range for a field goal. What are you doing? I don't know. Again, but like I said, if they fall apart, I'll just tip my hat and say again, I'm early, but I'm not wrong. All right, Captain Jack, who you got? Lions, Eagles.
Well, first off, you need AJ Cole to do those coffin corners at the 1 yard line for sure. And by the way, why is it that when the ball goes out at the half yard line, it should be at the half yard line, but they put him up at the 1? Did you guys notice that?
I did not.
Measurement. Yeah, I noticed that.
I did not notice
For
that.
measurement purposes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it that's if Ruff was here, I would have asked him about that.
Oh yeah, he's got
half yard line, and they put it at the 1. That's not where the ball went out of bounds. And if, like I said, if you need a punter to do like all coffin corners, 1 yard line, half yard line, or the 2 yard line, because that's what the the 2 of the 3 punts were. Get AJ Cole, but we're not going to give him up for that. As far as the other thing, I got the Thanksgiving turkey knee biters winning, period.
Who are they?
Thanksgiving turkey knee biters.
Oh, the Lions. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I've got the knee biters thing.
Dequala, you imbecile. Do I have to say it like this?
That's what I'm saying. Like you missed the opportunity to say Detroit. That's crazy.
No, I was waiting for somebody to be like, so I can do that.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Good stuff. All right, Lions, Eagles, RG, to wrap it up.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a really tough game. I don't know what to make of the Eagles right now. I mean, winning is a skill that is, learned throughout the NFL. Certain teams just know how to win in certain situations, and the Chiefs, Eagles are two of the most prime examples of that. But I'm gonna take the Eagles here. They are at home. Staying the hell away from that point spread because it's way too low, and this game could absolutely go either way. But I'm gonna take the Eagles on a slight nod here.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, it's rough for me as well. I mean, the Eagles defense. I mean, I'm a defensive guy, so I got to lean to the better defense in my opinion. The Eagles got a better defense in my opinion, so I would like to believe that they're going to take this matchup, and this could be a playoff preview matchup as well. So we can look at that from that perspective. People are kind of, coaching it from that perspective that this could be a playoff matchup. So Eagles at home, cold weather, Sunday night. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles because Jared Goff don't play well outside, and damn sure don't go play well in the cold. So I'm gonna take the Eagles on this one.
I have to put my beret on like this, you imbecile de toi.
You do.
My God. Merde.
Can't miss opportunities for the character to come out, sir. Sorry.
That's another swear word, but only if you know French. Okay.
Gotcha.
That's a swear word. Okay.
Gotcha. All right. Good stuff. All right. So as we wrap up the show, we like to end it up with our fourth and final segment. Hot takes of the week. Anybody got anything brewing heavier in there on their stove, in their crock pot, on their slow burning skillet or their slow burning smoker? What do they have from a hot take perspective? Let it out or forever hold your peace for the week or the rest of the season. Does anybody got anything that's hot brewing in their pot that they want to get off their chest before we get up out of here?
I said it at the beginning of the show. If I fart or burp, it's not my fault. And that's about the best hot take I can have given at this time.
That is very true. That is very true. I like it.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I mentioned it before, and I saw somebody else mention it today. I'm going to keep an eye on Belichick to the Giants.
Yeah, I was Ed. Ed talked about it earlier. He said, "Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Will it work?"
Only time will tell, but I'm just going to say I'm going to keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mars old school type of guy. Maybe he feels that Bill can be a culture guy. I mean, to have dominant personalities is when it really worked in New York. Coughlin was a dominant personality. Parcells was a dominant personality. Belichick was a dominant personality. So to go along with the going back to the well of what worked in New York, that fits. And Bill will have fun with the New York media and his press conferences. That'll be interesting. But nothing else, we get a good press conference every week from Bill and the New York media. So
yeah, and I think with that young team, they need some structure. So I don't think they're looking. Yeah, I don't know what the ownership is looking, but I think Bill is a guy that he's not coming in there to be your friend. We're going to get some structure. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it happens. Period.
Right.
But
yeah,
that's my controversial hot take.
Who the hell is talking about me taking over the Giants? First off, you woke me from my nap, and that's not very good. So I, the great Bill Belichick, will tell you when I am coaching another team. Okay, I don't hear anything else. I'm going back to sleep.
Well, I'm sure you take more naps with that hot girlfriend you got. So yeah.
Hey, why do you think I have to take the naps? Because all the other time I'm going boom.
There you go. All right. Anybody else got any more hot takes for the this week 11 of the season?
Saints fans, I just want to say I told you so. That's all.
You did.
Nothing more. And
you did.
To rub insult to injury, I have predicted.
Predicted.
Oh my God, predicted. Thank you. I have predicted your only 2 wins of the season to a T. I called your win against the Giants, and I called your win last week against the Panthers. So I'm sorry. You are the team that I knew you would be, as much as you didn't want to agree.
We're going to call him Robert Green.
The Oracle.
They are who we thought they were. And you let them off the hook. Yes, indeed. All right.
Turn their ass.
There you go. Crown them. Indeed. All right. Any more hot takes before we get up out of here?
I want Robert to give the Saints one more win because I want another team behind the Raiders at the end of the
I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it happens at some point later on this year when it comes to me. It's very rare when it does because it is the Saints, but when it does, I'll be sure to let you guys know.
Right. There you go.
They got the Panthers again, so
that's possible.
that might be the one.
Possibility. Indeed. Okay. All right. Good stuff. All righty. As we wrap up the show here, if you look up for the Hit Squad in any facet, our Commanders Insider, Mike Dubb, our Chiefs Insider, Alex Givens, or Robert Garcia, our Chargers Insider, please hit them up on their social media channels if you have any questions about their team and their grace. Please do so in our social media channels. They're all their Twitter handles and Instagram for those applicable have that listed here. So hit them up if you have any questions about their team or any questions about the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. If you're looking for any questions about the NFL Nation Live crew, I'm sorry, I skipped the hell hit. NFL Nation Live crew, they're available as well. Ref Guru on Twitter, Violator on Twitter as well. Captain Jack Rackham is on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So hit them up with any Raiders questions or any referee questions that you may have. They'll
just ask for the Dixon Cider, when you talk about Raider stuff.
What's that?
Just ask for the Dixon Cider.
I missed it.
You're talking about insiders. I said just make sure you ask for the Dixon Cider.
Dixon Cider is what he's trying to make the joke here.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry. All right. So yes, that's NFL Nation Live crew, and they're all their social media platforms. If you're looking for the Lockdown Defense Sports Network in any facet, here's our social media handles on all platforms: YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And Gmail as well. If you need to send us an email in regards to any questions about the network, hit the subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. Let the YouTube algorithm know doing big things out here. Please do that. It is free. Appreciate that. All the subsidiary channels for the Electric Shock podcast for all LA Chargers news. Myself and Young RG will be doing coverage there all week about the Chargers upcoming matchup for the Jaguars. So check us out there. We dropped a video today regarding the Steelers matchup and what we thought about that. Really good counseling there. Hit us up on all our social medias as well. Electric Shock Pod across all platforms. And if you look for any fantasy football advice, myself and Alex are doing a fantasy football podcast channel as well. The Lightning Fast Football Podcast is really available to you on all platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We do a live show each and every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hit us up there. Hit us up any facet if you have any fantasy football questions, and pull up on us on our live show on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, and we'll get your social media questions answered and your fantasy football questions answered as well. So we'll get that going for you. So we'll see you there.
Make sure you're there for the lightning fast football fantasy podcast where these guys talk fantasy football.
Indeed.
Clip
Indeed.
that for
There
the
you go.
show.
Indeed. So that's going to do it for us, man. We're going to be back next week as always at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right here on the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. Follow us on all our social media channels. Hit that subscribe button as always on the YouTube channel so we can let you know you're out there, and drop comments as well how you feel about this content. Any questions you want to get asked, we'll get back to you in short order for that. But any final parting words before the panel before we get up out of here?
I wish I had
Good
an
show, fellas.
air whooping cushion. You know, like right now I could just go.
Oh, air whoopee cushion. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. Well, good stuff. All right, gentlemen. Well, we'll see the fans next week, and then check out the Lockdown Defense Sports Network each and every day at 3 o'clock to check out all our content that we drop each and every day outside of our live show at 9 o'clock each time on Tuesday nights. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm Coach Stevens. That is young RG Robert Garcia. That is Coach Mike Dubb. That is real AG Alex Givens. That is Captain Jack Rackham. And that is Violator Man himself, the legend. And till next week, we'll see you when we see you. As always, you got to step up to lock it down.